Man, so Dan, I really hope that we get, if anyone stops by today, it's not for too long because I'm really, really tired of hearing their voice. So hopefully we just have a very smooth conversation. I've been meaning to talk to you for a very long time. So I hope that happens.
Okay, so I assume that you've taken all the proper security measures. That
I have.
The windows are closed, and you've duct taped the cardboard behind them for the blackout effect.
Yes, yeah. I did find some wood panelings. I boarded up all the windows like it was the Night of the Living Dead. I locked my door. I don't think anyone is going to be entering at any time whatsoever.
Oh, come on now.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
He's right behind you. Of course he is.
Well, I heard y'all talking shit. Not shit, man. It's just we've had a long weekend. And he just got his Dan just got his vaccination. Oh, good for you, Dan.
Oh, thank you.
I promote vaccinations.
That's good to hear.
What about you? When are you getting yours? I don't know. Well, you got to work on that. I mean, vaccination or no vaccination, you always need to quench your thirst. And the only way you can quench your thirst is by ordering me, TK, because I can quench your thirst, and I'm basically a vaccination all on its own.
Now, I want to know, does TK come preloaded with water? Because I think that's the only way that TK would really be able to quench my thirst like immediately. Otherwise, I have to put in the legwork of filling up TK and then quenching the thirst.
Well, I do think that not if you make a request specifically to the seller, Travis William Larry Kemp, and send him an email below. Can we do that? I don't think we can do that. Okay, well, if you just send some sort of request on Amazon, I'm sure he can preload it with some water, with some alcohol, with some cocaine, or whatever you need to brighten your day.
Just sort of like a mystery vessel of some kind of hydrating fluid.
Exactly. Mystery boxes, I'm a mystery vessel. We'll see what I'll be next week. But I gotta go. Talk to y'all later.
Bye, TK. Lock the door behind you.
Stay out. What?
Lock the door behind you.
I'll try. Hold on. Locking noise. All right, I think I got it.
Excellent, Foley.
Yeah, thanks, man. He sounded similar to 2 podcasts ago, but he said he was going to adapt and sound different every time, but I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. What a wild character. You know what else is wild?
Tell me what's wild.
Yeah, what's wild is this MCU show called Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the follow-up to WandaVision on Disney Prime.
Is it though? I mean, or is it just another show that happens to be in the same universe, but you wouldn't really be able to tell just by the general aesthetic differences between these shows?
I think it would have been smarter if they released this before WandaVision. Because it is such a difference. Such a difference.
Yeah.
So
So here's what we should do, just to save everybody time, so they can decide right at the beginning if they hate us or not. We should probably just say our general feelings towards the show.
Well, I'll tell you guys one thing. Usually me and Dan try to stay away from like talking about certain things before we do podcasts. Like we might be like, whoa, this is wild, or whoa, this. But Dan could not contain himself. It's weird. It's like the first time we talked when I said that. I started off saying I liked the first episode we talked, and at the end I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't good, and you called me out on it. It's kind of like this one. Like someone asked me, well, did you like the newest episode? I hear it's the best. I'm like, oh man, I didn't. And then I thought about certain parts and I did. So I will say this. We're going to talk about episodes 3 and 4 today. 3, I didn't like that much, but 4, I liked more. But I did fall asleep at it. So, like, I have such mixed reactions to things. I think for the most part, I'll be bashing it with some defense. But overall, I'm not enthusiastic about this show. How about you?
Yeah, it is a show. That much I can say for certain. It is the most television-y product to come out of, like, the 21st century Marvel. I can't say that I really enjoy it, but I don't hate it either. It's mostly just that like it keeps on moving so quickly to the point where I can't really focus on any aspect of the show for too long. It reminds me a lot of just traditional television drama formatting. Maybe for better, for worse, just depends on what you like. I don't watch a lot of television, so it's a little clunky and just disjointed to me, but maybe that's just my tastes.
No, I think it's I think it's middling between general programming, like those television series that has like not animation, but like dramas that have like 24 to 62 episodes in one season.
Yeah.
So not much happens most of the time.
Yeah.
Or if stuff happens, you're listening, but you're zoning out a lot because you're like, what? This is nonsense.
I'm generally kind of zoning out a lot. That's my reaction. It kind of reminds me of shows on the CW, which I can say I've never really watched shows on the CW, but I've seen clips and trailers and whatnot, and this reminds me of all of those.
I have tried to watch CW shows, specifically. What's the show called? Arrow. I tried desperately because I only heard great things. But again, there's just so many episodes of it that it's ridiculous. Now, I will say that there are exceptions to the rule. Like I love Buffy and Angel. I don't watch Supernatural religiously, but that show's got like 612 episodes. Not literally, but it has a lot
like 15
of episodes.
seasons long or something.
Yeah, but it's a great show. But like this, what's funny about it is it has that type of not reaction. It has that type of feel, but the season is 8 episodes long. So I don't understand how I'm finding time to zone out instead of being enthralled like I should be.
Yeah. I think maybe part of what gets me with that, a couple of things, is just like a lot of the show is characters moving around without any really intentional blocking, just kind of like delivering expository dialogue. That and
So
then
much
just
of it.
the super drab appearance of everything, where WandaVision, even when I knocked WandaVision for like having costumes that are a little bit more muted compared to traditional Marvel fare, it's like eye candy compared to this show. It's just like, it's dark and dusty and beige, and it's like nobody has ever heard of a primary color.
No, I think the most colorful scene was in like the second episode where they showed fireworks at a football field. After that, you don't get really bright at all.
Yeah, so maybe that's just one of the reasons. Maybe that's one of the more like shallow reasons that I'm not into this show. It's just that it is kind of drab, and that doesn't help the sense of energy for me. But it's a very cursory kind of overall speculation on why the show hasn't hooked me. There are plenty of other reasons, but yeah, I guess you should start with a little bit of recap, because I couldn't tell you. I could tell you some of the couple of big beats from these 2 episodes, but how we get to them, I don't know.
Thank God for previously ons. So I was going to watch both episodes, but again, before doing this, but I couldn't do 3 again because I think I'd watched 3 twice, because there are times where things are happening. I'm like, I feel like I missed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
but
right.
I kind of haven't. And it's just like the reaction of things is, I don't know how to react. It's almost as if I need WandaVision's laugh track, or it's like like a hearing audience's gasp to know I'm supposed to be shocked.
So
but,
if you could deliver like the summary of each one of these episodes in like 2 sentences,
all right, I'll
what
try.
happens?
So episode 3, at the end of episode 2, they Bucky and Sam decide that they have to go speak with Zemo, who used to work with Hydra when he tried to dismantle the Avengers in Captain America Civil War. So episode 3 of Falcon and Winter Soldier has Bucky visiting Zemo in jail, helping him escape because Zemo goes, "You need me out here in order for me to escape." And that happened very quickly. And Zemo is apparently a baron. He's super rich. So he just
Batman, but without the cowl.
So they have to go somewhere to find someone who makes super soldier serum. They find the guy. He goes, "Yeah, I was supposed to make some for the head of the Flag Smashers." And then Zemo kills the guy. And I think he doesn't want the super soldier serum anymore. I don't know. I thought he was going to want it, but it becomes apparent he doesn't. So anyways, so they're down him. They run into Sharon Carter, I think her last name.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the films, like intimately familiar with these films, I've watched all of them, and they were like, Sharon. I'm like, who?
You don't remember her?
No, not at all.
I like the actress a lot. She's I can't remember when she was first introduced. It might have been, I think it was Captain America Winter Soldier, but basically she's what's Cap's like love in life? Is it Betty or something? We should know this. The love of his life. Peggy Carter. Sharon Carter is, I think it's Carter. It's going to be terrible if it isn't, is related to her somehow, like the great niece of her, which, by the way, her and Cap made out. And that was kind of weird because, Cap and Peggy have a thing. But anyways.
Don't remember that. What?
We haven't seen her since Civil War, and she was working for like S.H.I.E.L.D. or, no, probably not the S.H.I.E.L.D., like the CIA or something. We haven't seen her for a very long time. And when Sam and Bucky and Zemo are in like Russia or something, they somehow come cross paths with her, and she is now a art dealer living outside of America because she is now a wanted fugitive of America because of the events that happened in Captain America Civil War. So when the blip happened, or not the blip, the snap, whatever, people disappeared.
The blip. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that she disappeared, but in either case, she's basically been doing illegal things in a different country, and that is illegal art dealing. So she's kind of on the shady side, and she didn't want to go back to America, but Sam talks to her and says, "Hey, I could get you back, and they'll love you, and you'll be a good guy again." And she's like, "I don't know." And he goes, "Just help us." So she somehow helps them. I think
by killing a lot of people.
Yeah, by finding the scientists. She did some badass stuff on a ship. But anyways, to get the summary over, they get a location for the head of the Flag Smashers, and at the end of it, I forgot her name, but she's a Wakandan, shows up because Bucky figures out that they're being followed by Wakanda technology.
Mm-hmm.
And if people don't remember, Bucky was in Wakanda basically trying to get his stuff together after the events of Civil War. But I don't know how long he was there. I'm going to say at least a year. And they called him the White Wolf. In episode 4, we find out that they helped take off his Winter Soldier-ness, like where they say like 7 words and then he turns into an assassin. They got rid of that. That's no longer a thing. And they say, "Hey, you got to give us Zemo because he killed our king." And he's like, "Give me 8 hours." They're like, "All right, I guess." Events, stuff, things. John Walker, a.k.a. Cap, new Cap,
Faux Cap,
is also trying to get Zemo. And he's starting to get jealous of everyone that has the super serum. And long story short, Zemo destroys all of the super serum except for one after getting knocked out by Walker. Walker takes it, puts it in his pocket. He talks to his partner, Battlestar. He's like, "You think having the super serum would be nice?" And they're like, "Whoa, man! If I had super serum, life would be awesome." So that's where I think that they made the point of that's where he decided to take it. And I'll get more into John Walker later. But Zemo disappears after the Wakandans try to find him again. Sharon says she's going to help out Sam somehow, but said, be careful to find the Flag Smasher. Sam tries to talk to the Flag Smasher. The Flag Smasher says, I have to kill people. He's like, no, you don't. And Truss is betrayed because John Walker goes, all right, you're going to jail. And she goes, Sam, you said this wasn't a trap. It is a trap. And
classic setup.
Yeah, classic Sam. Sam's like, no, I didn't. But in any case, he really didn't mean to trap her. But she runs away. One of her allies, probably her only super soldier ally left that's alive, is being chased along with everybody. We realize that Walker has taken the super serum because he throws a shield and it goes through, basically indents into a cement wall. So it's like, oh, he took the serum.
He also bends like a metal pipe in half.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first indication. But they killed Battlestar.
Lamar gets killed because he's like kicked super hard against a column,
which stops everybody
from fighting,
including the Flag Smasher. Like, oh,
yeah, I have things to say about that.
I have a lot of things to say, but I feel like we have to get it all out there first before we jump around
enough.
Because it's too much. So Walker gets pissed, chases the two Flag Smashers, catches up with one of them, and this
executes him.
And executes him publicly in broad daylight in the middle of the street in front of at least 100 civilians, all holding camera phones with the shield. He impales him with the shield, probably through his chest, but the shield is full of blood or covered in blood. And he just looks around, and Sam and Falcon look at him and are like, oh, And that ending, I was like, whoa, that was a big spectacle. So that made me excited for the rest of the episodes. But in any case, yeah, where do you want to start?
Oy boy. So on the off chance that somebody is listening to this and hasn't watched these two episodes, take all of those convoluted plot points and now imagine also trying to fit in some kind of pseudo-political subtext and like buddy character chemistry and moral quandaries and everything.
It's like it's all thrown against a wall.
It's all spaghetti against the wall.
The thing layered is,
throwing spaghetti against the wall is possibly an okay strategy, but it's a strategy with the assuming that something will stick and you'll follow it. And so far, all the spaghetti is being thrown at the wall and nothing is sticking.
Yeah, and every time you're trying to eat the spaghetti, it like moves on its own. It's so hard to get a grasp on anything. And that's why you zone out, because you're like, what?
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'll pay attention later. And every time you try to pay attention again, you don't know what's going on.
So for me, like I am a little more story centric than plot centric. I like story told through character interaction, through visual development, through motif,
actions, not just expositional dialogue.
And a lot of this, so far, the production seems like it doesn't greatly benefit from visuals. There isn't a lot done that marries visual with storytelling in ways that are particularly effective. And that's one of the reasons that like the action to me in this show is especially tiring because there's rarely a moment where spectacle is tied in with narrative. Maybe the exception being that, like, when Lamar gets killed, that's kind of a turning point. But on top of it, there's also just this like mystery box of social dilemmas that aren't followed up in any way that makes a statement. And a lot of that comes through with the discussion of the Flag Smashers leader, who one point that we didn't mention at the end of that recap is that, like, as she's stealing supplies or something from a global repatriation something or other, the people who like have been setting up these outposts and containing people to try and put them back into society, unbeknownst to one of her cohorts, she bombs the building. And when her buddy is just like, what happened? And she's just like, this is the only language these people understand. And that spurs this entire back and forth dialogue of like, well, she's committed terrorist acts, but she's caring for the people and everything. And they're like, not everything is black and white. So I'm like, your idea of characters not just being black and white has to be she's like sympathetic and helping people, but also she's bombing and killing just like innocent people, and that's your moral quandary. Like those are really two disparate opposites. It's not like I was watching a movie recently. It was Midnight Special. Don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I love Midnight. I like that director.
Yeah. So there's this moment where you get the sense that like you've got dad, son, and friend on the run. It's a scheme greater than even the police know. So they get stopped by the police, and like, long story short, one of the protagonist characters winds up like shooting the officer so that they can keep on moving. And the case was like, it was heat of the moment. What was going to happen? Was he going to like sacrifice the safety of his son for this officer that he doesn't know? And it's like, that's set up to be a moral dilemma that we can at least wrestle with in something like that. And this just isn't. It's just like, okay, so she's helping people and she's sympathetic, but also she's bombing depots, and then like a voice on the radio is covering it. And for some reason is also just like, this has been an escalating, discourse about the Flag Smashers, and also they are gaining people to their cause. I'm like, what? Like, how does...
I'm guessing that's just saying that people like agree that they have to fight violence with violence, but in any case, it's like it is straight up murder for straight up innocent people, not just like a cop that's doing their job or anything. Just someone that happens to be in the area.
Let's like take this moment and tweak it in just the slightest way that might give it some humanity. It's like, what if she was rigging up these explosives and thought that the building was occupied, and then learned on the news later that she had inadvertently killed 3 innocent people? Then there would be like some sort of grappling with, oh shoot, like what I've done has gone beyond even what I anticipated. But then she also has a conversation with Sam's sister, trying to be like, I'm trying to figure out if I need to kill your brother or can I reason with him. And so there's this weird back and forth between, she's like cold-hearted and calculated, but then empathetic, because when she and her Flag Smasher friends are fighting Captain America and Sam and Bucky and everybody and deliberately trying to kill them, when Lamar inadvertently gets killed, they stop and they're like aghast and horrified. I'm like, you just
we've gone too
deliberately
far.
murdered like 5 people for no discernible reason. And like, this is your step too far.
Yeah, that reaction didn't make any sense to me. I don't know if it was Sam's talk earlier, because when Sam and her spoke before they basically started battling, she decided that she was going to be okay with speaking with him because it just seemed like he may be able to talk, because his specialty was talking to like vets that needed basically therapy. I can't really think of how to describe
it was something like that.
Yeah, so he was basically a good negotiator. So he tried to negotiate with her, and he would say, you're just gonna sacrifice these people?" And she used some term like, "Well, they just got in the way" or something, and he gives her a look and she goes, "No, you twisted my words. You made me say that." So it seemed like he was getting her somewhere, and they do keep referencing her as like a kid. Like, she's just a kid. But I mean, there's no clear point. It could be true that this villain, who is a villain, is maybe not the main villain, but like, she's killing people, is like confused and doesn't know how to further her cause, and is misinterpreting their gain in public awareness and public support as like, oh, well, maybe I'm supposed to kill people so people will pay more attention, which is fine and everything, but it doesn't really come across on screen as exactly human mistakes or anything really human. It's all told through like murky dialogue, to where I don't quite understand. It's not coming across to me that she's confused about what she's doing, or that she can be like brought to the other side. I believe that she believes in her cause, but it doesn't seem she's that sympathetic. She just doesn't like being labeled as like a murderer and all of that. That's basically it for me.
Then you should maybe not do murder.
Maybe not do murder.
Anyway, but yeah, like along those lines with that confusion, there's a moment where Sam, Bucky, and Zemo are all talking about the super soldier serum, and Zemo makes this claim that like she's a supremacist, and Sam is trying to like push back on it, and he's like, no, everybody who eventually has that kind of power will become a supremacist. And then Sam says, but there was Steve Rogers, to which Zemo was like, touche, but there's not been another Steve Rogers. And that's end of conversation. I'm like, so what was being said here? Like, what was the point of this entire discourse? It's kind of like coming back to the whole thing with Isaiah's reveal 2 episodes ago, which I thought was going to be a significant element of the show, because it starts to borderline on race and identity politics. And then it's just dropped.
They don't bring it back at all.
It's kind of like having a conversation with a friend who says, have you thought about this? And then you say, no, what about it? And they're just like, I don't know. Have you thought about it? Like, no, what are you saying?
Yeah. I'm assuming they're bringing that back. If they don't, there was absolutely no reason for it whatsoever. But there are a lot of conversations that keep just being sidelined and said that they're going to speak about it later. But I will say that, like, watching a show and watching character development, the character development and character actions are really what make a show for me a lot. Yeah. And this show started to do this with John Walker. With Sharon, it was like she's a completely different person now.
Right. There's just total transformation there.
Yeah.
So we needed a badass.
Yeah, and I talked to someone about it, and I was like, yeah, that really just threw me off, because it's completely a 180 from her other character, or her character previously. And they're like, yeah, I don't know if I like that. And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, but it has been 5 years, and like we still don't quite understand as an audience what those 5 years were like for everybody. Plus, she was a fugitive of the country, so it could be anything. So for that to happen, fine, I'll buy that. Do you remember the leader flag smasher name?
No, I can never remember.
Yeah, I can.
Her name.
The kid. For her, I believe I get that she is very supportive of her cause and that she's trying to fight the system and all of that, but there's not. It's just not coming on screen for me very well. Now, I will say with Sam, I can see him as a perfect middling character, which is I don't know I'm trying to do the right thing, but everyone's stopping me. It's not really advancing, but I will say that the thing that they advanced very, very well, maybe not from beginning to end, because we don't know but then again, we don't know the character very well, is John Walker. I think him getting his ass whooped, him trying to and I saw it more with rewatching the episode, and it was he is telling people give me Zemo right now, and they're like, no. And he's like, you know what I'm holding? They're like, yeah, you don't deserve it. And he's like, well, work with me, I guess. And then gets more and more frustrated. And when the Wakandans and him are about to have a fight, he's like, well, I'm Captain America. And he thinks just saying I'm Captain America means he has jurisdiction to have everyone respect him and he is more powerful than everybody.
Pretty much a stand-in for America at this point.
Right, of course. Yeah, exactly, actually. And the first time I watched the episode, and he goes, come on, we got off on the wrong foot. And he decides to hit her shoulder. When I first watched it, I'm like, that's so stupid. Why would you ever think that that's a good idea? But watching this again, it's well, he thinks because he has this suit, that he has this shield, that means no, everyone knows who I am, so I'll just say come on, I'm Captain America, this. Wakandans are like, fuck you. And once he loses, he gets so down on himself about they're not even super soldiers and I got my ass whooped that he feels powerless, completely powerless. And I actually liked it a lot because that's when he started saying super serum this, super serum that. Oh, you feel so good being a super soldier, huh? Blah, 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 blah. So I dug that that's what makes him I'm powerless. I need to do something about it. I need to take this serum. So that was a saving grace for me to actually pay attention again to the series.
Yeah, I'd say that his trajectory so far is the strongest throughout the series, and it is a really tragic trajectory just on his emasculation and powerlessness, and kind of a little bit of that, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And Sam has a moment where Zemo asks him, if you could take the serum, would you do it? And he just shuts it down immediately. And he's like, no. And then that same conversation comes back to between John Walker and Lamar. And there's this kind of, oh yeah, of course I would do it. Think of what I'd be able to do. And oh, you earned it and everything. And so that plays into a lot of the character of John Walker and his just entitlement, his lack of control, and his implications of his perceived worldwide jurisdiction. Again, being, I'm sure, a lot of not so subtle critiques of modern American, world police culture and everything. So at least you're right, there is some kind of clear trajectory for him. I can't, and it's clearly played out on screen too. So yeah, I get what you're saying there, and that much I can get down with. It's just kind of interesting that that's sort of a sideline story that needs to be packed in along with everything else.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. My cat, I think, is having a heart attack. It's just meowing and me. No. Can you hear it? Hold on. I think he's being murdered right now.
The cat took the serum.
What's up, man? Jeez.
Oh, Tony, your cat's going to become Captain America 3. Catpin America. I don't know.
I'm so
trying.
sorry about that. I could not concentrate. Just heard.
I totally don't understand that.
And I'm like, I'm trying to pay attention. Shut up. I am so sorry about that. The door's wide open, so he shouldn't do that again, because I think he thought he was alone. But that makes me think, how often is this cat meowing when we're around here? Our neighbors must hate us.
Probably just
Anyways, John Walker. I apologize. John Walker.
John Walker is at least like... John Walker is kind of on this inverse trajectory with Bucky, where I feel like he's going to come to a place where he's like... he is actually like mortified with what he's become and what he's doing. However, it makes sense for him because he's acting out of rage and he's acting out of, vendetta and pettiness to some degree. One of the reasons that like Winter Soldier's entire dilemma is still just like not affecting is because he was mind controlled the entire time.
Yeah.
Like you can grapple with the fact that like people died and he was like part of it, but he wasn't willingly part of it.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He was an unconscious tool, which always makes me wonder, like, where are you going to go with that? Like that moral dilemma.
Yeah. And with, I think that it is pretty cool parallels, but with Walker, I do buy everything. With Bucky, I buy everything, but like I can't really tell what his intentions are like right now, besides I want the shield back. I can't really.
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, did I interrupt you? Because I feel like I'm stepping on all your points.
No, it's because it's just like the show. I don't know where I'm going with this. So for instance, one thing about when the show started with Bucky, it was, he was feeling really, really down about like being a murderer and all of this. And then he sees that someone else has the shield. He's like, we can't have this anymore. And Sam goes, okay, well, you need to help me with something. Oh, all right. No. Sorry. He goes, well, I'm coming with you because I'm going to help. And like ever since then, I don't know what his intention is anymore. Besides, he's somehow helping Sam, but he's like, after this is over, we're parting ways. But I don't know what his intentions are. But also,
what's his motivating force?
Exactly, I don't know what it is. In episode maybe 3 or 2, I think it was 3. He goes, all I know is that you don't want the shield. That's why I'm gonna take the shield. But like, I don't know how just helping Sam is going to help you get the shield at all. And the other thing that was completely out of his character, out of like basically I'd say anyone's character who knows someone really well, is when Sam is speaking with the head of the Flag Smasher. Zemo is handcuffed, Walker and Battlestar are there, Lamar, and Bucky's there, and he's in the doorway. And Walker's like, I can't wait anymore. And he starts to walk over, and Bucky's like, yo, it's only been 10 minutes. And he goes, your friend is over there, and he needs your help. Do you really want his blood on your hands? And as Bucky just said 20 seconds ago, hasn't even been 10 minutes. Chill out. Bucky, even though Bucky and Falcon butt heads, they still know each other well enough that Sam's probably okay. It's been less than 10 minutes. So like, I didn't buy that he talked him into that. But again, it just makes me wonder what his character development is whatsoever. Like, I don't know if now he has a thing with his arm because the Wakandans disabled his arm, and he like gave her
anything.
Yeah, is that, and like he puts it back on and does the thing, which was actually kind of cool. I thought that effect was kind of cool. And he goes, oh, did you know that they can do that? And he goes, no. So I think like that could be some sort of indication where it's like, oh, I can kind of be controlled because they can take something away from me. So, oh my God, this fucking cat. Sorry.
Not
Anyways,
coming from the mic at least.
Yeah, well, good. Hopefully not. I'll just try to ignore it. So my point is that the show is so all over the place is that I can't even express what I want from Bucky. I don't know what he wants, and I can't tell what his end game is besides what he stated earlier. That is, I'm going to get the shield.
Yeah, it does have that, again, quality of a lot of television shows where it's like we just have to keep moving all the time. And we know there's a mission that needs to be completed. We're trying to stop the Flag Smashers, and there aren't points where you just look back and you're like, why is all of this happening? And I think that's especially indicative of the entire conflict with Bucky breaking Zemo out of prison. Like, he makes a comment to the Wakandan guard that's after Zemo and says he's just a means to an end. And like, what's that end? There's not been any grappling with like the personal culpability with the horrible things that have happened just since Zemo's been out of prison. And that's because of Bucky. Like, Zemo murdered the guy who was recreating the super soldier serum, which I guess we can feel at least like middling about that because they decided to make that character super weird for no reason. Like, he was just a skeezy dude, so it's like, whatever.
He's a scientist, so he had to be like,
he's a
really,
scientist,
really weird for no
as
reason.
if the scientist was written like a character in The Social Network or something.
Yeah,
Where it's just like there's this borderline like I don't know, a side to the character that's just like psychotic and you know,
and strange and
and
all
strange
that,
and everything. But yeah, and then you can't quite figure out what Zemo's intents are and everything. But when Zemo does things like just kill this scientist that they were after for information, he doesn't even get a slap on the wrist. He, like, after that entire scene where
he gets shouted at.
He gets shouted at, but even before that, they're all in this like shipyard trying to escape these thugs that are after them, and he first of all does a bunch of goofy flips and kicks and punches, and like, why does everybody in this show need to have like some sort of specialized training in MMA? First of all, he puts a mask on at one point. I'm like, is that his costume? And why does he only do this for like 30 seconds?
So I'm assuming Zemo is, he must be a character from the comic books. I don't know. I've had two of my friends go, oh yeah, when he put on that mask, I have a question. Is he, I'm like, dude, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Is that his character's costume?
But
and
even if
is he
we're
only
getting-
going to do it once?
Even if we're getting beyond that, like, he does all this incredibly questionable stuff, and then Bucky and Sam's reaction continuously is, you better not do that again. And they continue to have like buddy moments where they're like in on jokes together. I'm like, he tried to like destroy and kill the Avengers, and you're still just going to have like quippy dialogue with this character. Like, there's such an odd and like unpredictable and unnatural chemistry between all characters that even in the same scene will shift from like just in ways that are completely unhuman. And so
it doesn't make sense. They just think like this is what we see in other movies and TV shows. We see the two. It's 6 different plot lines on one screen, and that is we have a buddy cop thing with prisoners, so it's kind of like a Midnight Express type of thing. But even though this guy's like terrible, and they don't ever like handcuff him or anything, and he's paying for everything too, taking them wherever. It's we need him.
Yeah,
but do you though?
Again, there's ways to handle that, and again, I'm gonna probably unfairly pick up the beat from like 3:10 to Yuma, where the Christian Bale and his son and all these other guys are trying to transport this fugitive to the train to take him to Yuma prison. And along the way, he's like killing everybody in the party. And there's this like moral conundrum of, should we just kill this guy and be done with him? And in the end, like Christian Bale, the protagonist, has both a moral code and an understanding that he like needs to get him to the train to Yuma in order to receive a reward that he needs. So there's both like plot incentive and moral character driving those decisions. But all the way, they're like, we're transporting a horrible, dangerous person, and we're not going to pretend that we're buddies.
Right. Yeah, no, never. They just did. I think they did that as like a dumbed down, like, well, we need to keep it light type of thing. Keep it, recycle some sort of plot that we've seen before to make it seem like kooky and fun. I will say I do like Zemo more now.
I still can't stand him.
I like him because I think he's like a
weird,
little cretin.
ambiguous, like Eastern European accent. Like, it's so ham-fisted.
I don't know why I like him, but I don't know. It is his like my shit stinks. I know, but you know I'm also right about things, and he kind of isn't. He just kind of like answers questions with questions and continuously asks those questions, and they're like, "Shut up!" And he's like, "All right, I'm just saying." But like, there's a part where Walker he handcuffs Zemo, and he goes, "Fine, you got 10 minutes, Sam." They like give him a look like that's not necessary type of look, but the scene continues, and Zemo says something like, well, but I get it. He says, but I get it. Like, he understands, like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. I would probably try to escape.
Right. So, it's just funny how many times, like, he's escaped and shown back up again and escaped again.
It's weird that he keeps showing back up. Like, currently right now, he escaped, and we don't know where he is. But, like, when he escaped from the lab in the scene with the scientists in episode 3 on the ship, and he puts on the mask, I'm thinking, okay, so this is where he becomes.
This is where he double crosses them. There's so many moments like that where it's like.
So but he helps them.
But he
kills
he keeps
people. Like, yeah, he came back. He's like, all right, let's go. And then they're like, you shouldn't have done that, but you're helping us, so thank you. So it is extremely strange, and I can't tell what his motivations are.
Right.
Again,
I thought the super soldiers, I guess, maybe.
Maybe because what I thought was at first was that he was trying to take the serum or make his own super soldiers, until in episode 4 he's trying to destroy all of those serums. But after that, I don't know what else it could be. I don't know if he's going to try going. He probably will come back as like, I gotta help you guys more. And they're going to be like, you shouldn't have done that. Instead of one of them go, why do you want to help us so bad? Do you feel bad for what you tried to do to us? You got to tell me why. Or do you like just asking us questions? Are we your only friends? Do you think we're friends? There are so many questions, but in either case, like, it's not fun with them three. I'm not having fun with like the constant quibbling that's like, well, are your morals or morals? Like, shut up, morals. It's like the same shit over and over again. But I do, for some reason, I like his character. Bucky and Sam is just kind of the same thing sometimes.
Their whole chemistry has been really downplayed in the last couple of episodes.
Yeah, it's not really I got your back, you got mine or anything. It's not like, I don't think it's really developed. It hasn't really developed. I think it's all been like a shit ton of plot that you can't follow, that they're trying to throw in there as quick as possible. Quick too. Because there's one scene, I don't know if you've seen, but online, so in the show in episode 3, they need to go to a certain country or something, so it shows them going to a dance club, and it shows Zemo like it looks like he is dancing, but he's like half dancing, like he's building up to like start to break dance, and he does like this sometimes, and it's like 15 seconds. And like online, people are like, we want the full cut of him doing it. So like online, they released like a 1 hour looped video of just his dance moves. But if you watch that episode, that scene, it's only them in the dance club, like looking around and like drinking a drink and looking around. And then it cuts to them like leaving the dance club later and going somewhere else. Like that scene had nothing to do with anything. But it's just, they got these weird scenes that have nothing to do with anything. They have these scenes with like 6 different plot points talking and leading to somewhere where you don't quite know how, because when they connect the dots, instead of having one line connect to the dot, it's spaghetti all over the place. And I can't rummage through it.
Yeah, the plot lines have come a big old tangled ball of yarn. One of the things that we didn't even mention until now is the introduction of this like shadow figure, the power broker.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that Sharon. It has to be Sharon because Sharon is. I mean, all we know about Sharon is that she's got some shady friends and that she deals art. And that's one thing that she mentioned in the last episode when she was talking to Sam was like, this power broker isn't happy. But I don't quite get what this the power broker did say that he wanted super serum from Carly. Carly is the flag smasher leader. Yeah. That was mentioned, but like it's still a mystery about who the pawn broker is or power broker or whatever. Right. So I'm thinking it's
almost
her,
like
but
this
I don't...
Kaiser Soze figure, but it's constantly brought up in dialogue of like the power broker this, the power broker that. And I'm like, you haven't given me a visual for this character, and you just kind of like mention them whenever you need to. So like every time I hear that, it means nothing to me.
No, I think of like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, if that's his name. But I still don't even get a claw or a cat, except for this fucking one over here. But
maybe your cat is the power broker.
Yeah, but no, I don't know how it's going to come into play, but it's going to be a big reveal. I know that, and I don't know if War Machine's coming back. He had a scene in the first episode.
Yeah, we had 15 seconds with Don Cheadle, and they're like, that's all we could afford.
That's what it seems like. Like apparently he's getting his own show too, which is fine. As long as it's good. But the power broker, I'm assuming, is Sharon. I think it's going to be a big reveal of whoever it is. One thing that this show likes to do is end with like, oh, look, we brought back a character.
Except for episode 4.
Yeah, except for this episode. This episode was yo, he just murdered someone. If anything, we were introduced to a villain, the new villain. And I am very excited to see where they go with that, but I kind of want them to just be that. Delete some other stuff. Have Carly like get hit by a car walking across the street. It's like, oh, okay, now we got to concentrate on this. It's just too much.
I know. It's another point of nonsense too, where it's like, honestly, the super soldiers are only vulnerable when it makes for dramatic impact, because we're seeing them like punched through walls and everything, and they're still like getting up. And it's again that like Dragon Ball Z level of, I don't know what is actually doing them harm because it's all arbitrary. So
I don't get it either. Wasn't she shot? Do they have to keep drinking serum? When she got shot, it seemed like a big deal, but maybe you can get shot and you'll be like down for a little while and then you'll get better. But like I can't.
But you can't like jump 2.5 stories down and be like, this is totally fine, and then get shot on the side and be like, oh, bullets, my weakness.
Yeah, it's silly. That's why when that one person ran into the hail of gunfire, I was thinking like 1 or 2 is going to be fine. But yeah, when a hail of gunfire happens, no. She was just shot once, and I don't know. I don't get the physics of it, and I don't want to know because I think that the way they're going to explain it is through really shitty dialogue.
Yeah, probably.
That's why I'm trying to
another
endure.
show.
Yeah, but we're halfway through.
How many episodes is there? 6?
8.
8? Okay, so we are.
Wait, it might be. Hold on, I gotta find out right now. I believe if it's 6, then I don't even know how I would react. But if it's 8, I guess I'd rather it be 6 so I can just get it over with. But I think it is. Oh, it is 6.
Yeah. So shoot, we got a lot to get done in 2 episodes.
I guess. I mean, again, I don't really know what's going. Wow, it is only 6 episodes. That is so weird to me. Well, I mean, I guess this is a good time for John to become the villain, but like, I don't know what they're gonna do with Carly. But I don't care. I don't care like whatsoever, dude. Well, hopefully Loki will be good. Are you gonna watch Loki?
I'll still watch these things. We know I will.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as there's a show to record with you.
Oh, well, awesome.
Keep on watching.
We'll find something else. In case anyone listens to this and nothing else, what are you releasing your project yet? What's going on with that? Are you recording more first?
No, we are working on some logistics. We have 5 episodes officially recorded, and we just need to figure out the best timing for release and figure out what we're doing next with it.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's exciting. Look out for that. I just watched Them, which is an Amazon Prime show. It is not a fun show to watch whatsoever, but it's one of the best series I've ever watched.
Oh, okay.
People say that it's a ripoff of Jordan Peele's Us and Get Out, especially with a show called just Them. But it also, if you look at trailers and you look at that, the daughter from Get Out or the daughter from Us is in it. It kind of looks like they're ripping it off a little bit. But when you watch it, it's very similar stuff, but it is a psychological horror. That's all I'll say. It's very hard to get through though, because it's hard to get through. That's all I'll say. I think you'll have a hard time getting through it. Actually, I think you only make it to like episode 3 or 4.
We'll see.
If you want to watch a well-made show, watch that. But if you want to continue listening to us talk about not so well-made shows that get paid way too much attention to, tune in next time for me and Dan. Until then, I am Tony.
And I'm Dan.
And it was nice seeing you again.
Whoa! Bye, everybody.
Oh, you finally woke up. Your cat woke up.
Oh, my cat woke up. Look at that.